On today's show, we pop up at Nelson Beach in Plymouth for the JHC Polar Plunge and get a short Just the Facts update on Duxbury town government.
And we'll also highlight upcoming things to do on the South Shore, including events, shows, classes, and programs in Plymouth, Pembroke, Kingston, and Duxbury.
We're glad you're here. Let's get started. The 2026 JHC Polar Plunge happened at the beach at Nelson Park in Plymouth on March 7th. Tiff and the local Scene Street team were there.
Jordan Hospital Club's 24th annual Polar Plunge. There's going to be a lot of brave souls jumping into this ocean today. Let's see what these folks have to say. I'm with Catherine McKenna. Well, $1.6 million, 24 years. How does that feel to have just reached out to so many people in need?
It's overwhelming, the generosity of this community. I mean, people recognize the importance of the Cancer Center and how meaningful it is, and the people who work there. It's a most wonderful, wonderful feeling.
You talked about community. How is this a community building event?
I think everybody knows someone who has experienced that. What can you do? How can you help? How can you give back? How can you make things better for somebody else? And this is a great way to do it because you're banded together with friends and colleagues and family and doing something really constructive and supporting financially, as well as just showing your support for our local community hospital center.
Well, thank you so much for having us here today. We're so honored to be here.
Thank you very much.
With Mary and Peter, you guys have been volunteering since the beginning of the Polar Plunge. What made you want to volunteer?
I had just come off of treatment and was a survivor in 2002, and I felt very much wanting to give back. I had great treatment, everybody was wonderful there, and I can't say enough, and I'm still a survivor today, and it's been 25 years.
That's amazing. You're plunging today. What made you want to do the plunge?
We've been doing the plunge for the last 3 years or so. My friend Ashley originally started it. She's been doing it for about 11 years. She got a little busy this year, so me and my girlfriend Rose took over. We made the team Nautical Nonsense.
Love it.
We've raised $1,660 out of our $2,000 this year. So we've been very successful. We've had 25 donors, so very exciting.
How does it feel when you actually go in the water?
So for me, it's pretty painful. In my personal opinion, it's very cold. I am not built to be cold. I love the warmth, but I can do this and suck it up for about 2 to 3 minutes. I will full plunge and go under, and I will be right back out.
And it's all for a good cause.
Always, absolutely. We love coming down every year and doing it.
I'm with Macy, Anya, and Demi. Hi guys, how are you today?
Good.
You are plunging today, you brave souls. What made you want to do the plunge?
Our mom is part of the Jordan Hospital Club, so we come for her and we raise money for the Jordan Hospital, and we plunge on a team with our dads.
Oh, wow.
We also plunge for the people that we've lost to cancer, because we've lost a couple.
I'm so sorry to hear that. So does it feel like you're kind of closer to them when you do the plunge today?
Definitely.
Oh,
Yeah.
wonderful. I'm with Deb Moida, who is on the board for the Jordan Hospital Club. Can you talk about the history of the Polar Plunge?
I'm so happy to talk about the history of the Polar Plunge. We're so proud of this band of volunteers since 1906. And in 2003, Catherine McKenna, who is our fearless leader and chairman of this event, approached our board and said, I'd like to do a Polar Plunge as a fundraiser for the club. What do y'all think? And we all just said, huh? who's going to do that, you know? And so a few of us timidly raised their hands. And so from the first year we assembled on Long Beach, it really, really grew in momentum. And we're so proud of the funds that we've been able to raise, and over 1.7 million to give over to the Cancer Center.
How does it feel for you to be a part of this event?
Scary. I think I'm older now. I've done this plunge for 24 years, so since the first year. And it's been a carnival at times. We always came in costume. We always have live entertainment. How I feel is very gratified by the response to the community. I collect personal pledges like everybody here does to run into this water. The support for our local community, our regional effort for the Cancer Center is widespread. It is not just Massachusetts. It goes far beyond Plymouth. And that's what's heartening to me. Every year, my donations, not to me, but to the center, but through this event, come in, and it buoys me up and it gets me in the water.
Brandy, you're plunging today. What made you want to do the plunge?
For my friend Michelle Huskley, who had brain cancer. She passed away a year ago. Today is in memory of her.
Oh. How does it feel to do the plunge in her honor?
Awesome.
It feels awesome?
Yes.
Yeah?
I feel loved.
You should. You should. I'm sure she was a wonderful person. With Bob Johnson, who is the Director of Campaigns and Major Gifts. Hi, nice to see you today.
Hi, good morning. Great to be here.
I know. So this event is huge every year. How does this benefit the hospital?
The money for this event goes straight to the hospital. It helps to support cancer programs at the hospital. It supports our new emergency behavioral health unit. It's a very exciting time at the hospital. We're very much in a growth mode. We're in a transformational mode. Turning our little community hospital into a world-class medical facility right here in our backyard.
Yeah, it does help for people to be able to go local to get their care.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. We have a large community, a growing community, and we want to be able to provide the best possible health care close to home.
Lauren and Joe, you guys are plunging today. What brought you to the plunge?
Moved here about 4 years ago, and I was walking my dog, and we saw this great cause for Jordan's Hospital. We actually are in biotech, and a lot of our companies work in cancer research.
Wow.
So we thought it was great for our company to sponsor our friends and all that. So we try to raise as much money as we can, but also have a lot of fun.
Yeah. So. What about this event kind of builds community, you think?
Well, for us, it brings together our families, our clients, and our employees. So we get all of our circles together. So we love that part of it from a community perspective.
Wonderful. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you.
I'm with Abby, Molly, and Erin. So you guys are plunging today.
We are.
Who are you plunging in honor of?
Today we are plunging in honor of my mom, Ellen Falconer, and Erin's dad, Frank Radigan.
What does it mean for you guys to be doing this today?
They go through such a hard time going through cancer, and I think this little hard thing is just one thing I can do to honor them.
Yeah. And this is the first year you've done it. What are you expecting?
Cold. Freezing. Pretty cold, yes.
Well, at a certain point you feel numb, so it's totally fine.
It'll be fine. No, I'm excited for this.
Good. Well, I'm so excited to have you here. Thank you so much for talking to us.
Thank you. Thank you.
With Jordan the polar bear. Jordan, are you plunging today? Why is that? Too cold, I understand. Well, thank you so much for being here. The Polar Plunge starts right now. Well, another amazing polar plunge in the books. We want to thank the Jordan Hospital Club for having us here today. Make sure to check out our socials for where we're popping up next. From all of us at the local scene, we thank you for watching. We'll see you next time.
Is your date night routine feeling a little step stale? The Plymouth Recreation Department has just the thing to help you find your groove. Whether you're preparing for a summer wedding or just want to glide across the dance floor with your partner, a new program is bringing some romance to Court Street. On Tuesday nights from April 21st through May 26th, instructors Paul and Kelly Wibaraki will host Nightclub Two-Step for couples from 7:15 to 8:15 p.m. This smooth partner-only dance class is for couples 18 years old and up and will take place in the Blue Room at Memorial Hall, located at 83 Court Street. The cost is $130 per couple for the full 6-class session. For all other info or to reserve your spot for two, visit PlymouthRec.com.
If you've ever wanted to enjoy a spot of tea with British royalty, you won't have to cross the Atlantic to do it. The Centre, Duxbury, is rolling out the red carpet for a special historical performance that brings the legacy of the House of Windsor right to the South Shore. On Thursday, April 16th at 2:30 p.m., the Centre will host Queen Elizabeth II, Her Majesty One-Woman Performance and High Tea, featuring actress Cheryl Faye as part of the Historical Women series. Faye will bring to life the remarkable 70-year reign of Britain's longest-serving monarch, from her unexpected ascension to the throne to her role as a global icon. This step back in time to celebrate the life of a woman who defined an era will be a crowning achievement for your April calendar and cost only $5 to attend. To register, visit thecenterduxbury.org or call 781-934-5774.
Plymouth is glowing with a new way to experience live music. The Sunday Salon's Candlelight Concert Series is transforming the town's most iconic landmarks into intimate, flickering concert halls. And their next performance promises to be a true revolution. This series has been traveling through Plymouth's historical gems, from the Plymouth Center for the Arts, Hedge House, to the Spire Center. On Sunday, April 26 at 5 p.m., the music moves to the oldest continually operating public museum in the country, Pilgrim Hall Museum. The Cordage Ensemble will take the stage for Concert 4, Revolution and the Enlightenment. Surrounded by hundreds of flickering candles, the ensemble will guide their audience through the stirring sounds of a transformative era in history. It's not just a concert, it's a total sensory immersion. Visit artsplymouth.org to get your tickets.
Spring is in the air, and if you'd like to get some fresh air while giving back to the community, Plymouth Pride is heading into the woods for a day of service and sunshine at the Tidmarsh Wildlife Sanctuary. On Saturday, April 11th, LGBTQIA+ adults are invited for a day of trail clearing and community building. Meet new friends, enjoy the sanctuary, and help maintain the beauty of our local ecosystem. Volunteers will be trekking a few miles over uneven forest trails, so you'll want to break out those hiking boots or sturdy sneakers. Because they want to keep the group intimate, registration is limited to 18 people. The rain date is May 2nd, and there'll be more information upcoming about exactly what time and specifically where to meet that morning. To make sure you're on the list, you must use the official sign-up link found on the Plymouth Pride Facebook page or at massaudubon.org. An RSVP on the Facebook event does not hold your spot. Don't trail behind. The slots for this fun community building event will fill quickly.
Each week, Kingston Public Library teen librarian Parker invites teens to come down and partake in a fun craftivity. On Wednesday, April 8th from 3 to 4:30 p.m., the art of writing poetry will be on the table and found all over the shelves. At Crafternoon, Books Find Poetry. Teens will examine the shelf backs of books on the shelves in the teen room and, using titles that speak to them, craft poems. No registration is required. Just drop in for the fun.
On Thursday, April 2nd, the Spire Lobby series returns with Project Sydney, The Broken Genius. This isn't your typical concert. It's an evocative journey inspired by a single piece of artwork by local artist Woody Bavota. Performed on the main stage as part of their lobby series, The Broken Genius invites listeners to experience the inner world of an artist with music that's compelling, layered, and deeply human. Composer and pianist Sydney Ackerblom has crafted an original score that explores the emotional landscape of creativity. To bring this broken genius to life, a powerhouse ensemble of 9 musicians will fill the room with atmospheric textures and bold sonic statements. Doors open at 6:30 p.m. and the music plays at 7:30. This performance is presented by the Antonia and Vladimir Kuleyev Cultural Heritage Fund, and tickets are $22. Visit spirecenter.org to get yours.
If your spring cleaning involves clearing out some bookshelf space, you may want to head to Pembroke next month to fill those gaps right back up. The Friends of the Pembroke Public Library are hosting a community favorite that feeds both your mind and your sweet tooth. On Saturday, April 25th, the library will be a one-stop shop for book lovers and foodies alike, featuring discounted books and a spread of tasty treats. Every dollar raised goes directly back into the library's mission, supporting everything from programs for all ages, discounted museum passes and bestsellers, to items for the Library of Things. The sale will run from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. The Pembroke Public Library is at 142 Center Street.
On Thursday, April 16th, the Spire Center for Performing Arts will welcome one of the most influential names in folk history to the stage, the Kingston Trio. Current lineup members Mike Marvin, Tom Gore-Langton, and Buddy Woodward each has intrinsic personal roots and musical ties to the original founding members, reflected in their performance of timeless classics like the chart-topping song Tom Dooley and the haunting Where Have All the Flowers Gone? Doors open at 6:30 p.m. and the show starts at 7:30. Tickets for this one are expected to move quickly as folk fans from across the region head to the Spire, so make a merry minuet to the Spire Center website to get yours.
As the weather warms up and we all head back into our gardens and onto the trails, there's a tiny neighbor we'd all rather avoid. But according to experts, the key to staying safe this spring isn't staying indoors, it's staying informed. On Tuesday, April 21st, the Center, Duxbury, is hosting TikTok, a vital presentation by Plymouth County Extension entomologist Blake Dinius. A leading expert on local insect life, Dinius argues that tick-borne diseases are entirely preventable if you understand the biology of the pests themselves. He'll be breaking down the science of how they thrive in our area and, more importantly, providing actionable, science-based tools to keep you and your family bite-free this season. The event starts at 1 p.m., and you can find more information or register for sessions by visiting thecenterduxbury.org or by calling the front desk. Knowledge is the best repellent.
In this world, nothing can be said to be certain, except death and taxes. Benjamin Franklin said that, and on this April 15th, after you've turned in your taxes, spend a late morning at Pembroke Senior Services learning about the critters that show up for life's other certainty. Crime Scene Critters is a workshop led by entomologist Blake Dinius that will focus on how bugs help solve crimes by the clues they leave behind. Insects play an essential role in detective work, helping to uncover everything from what the time of death may have been to whether a body was moved in any way. The workshop starts at 11 a.m. and will last about an hour. The cost? Free. Sign up at the front desk or by calling 781-294-8220.
Next up is Dave Antoine with Duxbury Government on the local scene.
With Winter Storm Hernando overriding the rest of the remaining February schedule, the Duxbury Select Board was able to gather again at 878 Tremont Street for their first March meeting as the streets were cleared of snow. They began with a standard fare first, such as minutes approval, and an open forum before moving on to the main agenda. First up was the application for a new manager liquor license at the Art Complex. Chair Brian Glennon praised the complex on their work, such as their track record for licenses pulled and compliance. Ultimately, the board voted to approve before moving into items that would ultimately take up much of the hours. They recessed as the Select Board before putting on their Water and Sewer Commissioner hats, with the hearing continuing from the February meeting, discussing and voting on abatements for residents. Water and Sewer Superintendent Mark Cloud took the wheel to discuss 2 abatements, one involving an oversight at a final real estate transaction. A meter read had not been accurately taken. Water usage wasn't properly read or calculated up to date during the transition between the now previous owners and new owners, resulting in the new owner being charged the previous owner's old rate. The board mulled their options in an effort not to stick with the town with the previous bill and consider locating the previous owners. Finance Committee Chair Betsy Sullivan spoke on the matter, citing the collection could prove difficult, given the previous owners would receive a municipal lien certificate, indicating any outstanding liens by the town must be paid at closing, thus giving the previous owners a clean financial bill of health with the settlement documented. Betsy cited that to pursue this would come with the risk of more time and effort on the town's behalf versus what to gain. Chair Glennon was confident in making the situation right, believing that they could do more, but to put a pin in it for now. The board looked to it as an administrative issue with the water department, whereas the abatement and the collection would be another issue. The other abatement addressed a resident's not getting an October bill, meaning the resident paid 2 combined bills at a higher cost, prompting the commissioner to recalculate it without going up to a higher bill. No discussion was necessary for the board, who voted favorably. The board then moved on to the town meeting articles, which has dominated much of their 2026 schedule so far. Article 22 was a proposed moratorium on construction of a new power plant in Plymouth. Article 8 was about union contracts. Article 19 concerns the Tremont and Depot wells, funding design, engineering, permitting, and a bid for water quality improvements. Article 5A concerned the operating budget with the Regional Old Colony Communications Center known as ROC. Finance Director Mary McKinnon discussed the remaining pieces of the budget, 2 enterprise funds that were within this budget and not covered from a previous meeting, Water Enterprise and ROC itself. Mary discussed the various services provided by ROC, providing fire, police, and dispatch services throughout the South Shore, such as Duxbury, Pembroke, and others. Mary went into the process of how a town signs with this operation as a member town, with the state paying for a portion of their membership for the first 3 years until they're fully phased in, and then the town becomes responsible for 100% payment of their membership. A portion of this payment is deposited into the ROC Enterprise Fund, supported by state grants such as the 911 and cell phone fees. The dispatch center is expected to receive just under $3 million for FY27. Article 18 was presented by Planning Director Matthew Hines concerning the Battery Energy Storage System zoning bylaw. This article's intent was to amend a zoning bylaw, a discussion that took practically a quarter of the meeting, of which Chair Glennon cited as being very educational, given how it affects people across town with respect to zoning and land use, along with keeping public health in mind. They then moved on to a citizen's petition article concerning a proposed speed limit on Tremont Street. That citizen stating their case, arguing that it's both a thickly settled district and a business district on Route 139, with the town overseeing this stretch of narrow road without sidewalks and ongoing beach projects. At only 20 feet wide leading up to the Marshfield town line, with one half being a thickly settled district and the other half is a business district, gives reason that Tremont should be at a 25-mile-an-hour speed limit. The article was discussed amongst the board members with future discussion involving the police chief and more. The Duxbury Select Board wrapped up just before 10 o'clock that night. This has been your Duxbury Government Access on the local scene.
On Wednesday, April 22nd, celebrate National Poetry Month in a virtual event with Miranda Cowley-Heller, a New York Times bestselling author and former HBO executive behind iconic series like The Sopranos, 6 Feet Under, and Big Love. Her raw and lyrical debut poetry collection, What the Deep Water Knows, navigates the delicate, devastating lived experience of womanhood. The sea-kissed landscapes of Cape Cod are a canvas for poems that offer a bold, cinematic journey through love in all the seasons. Lush lyricism and intimate confession starts at 2 p.m., and you can register and get the link by visiting the Plymouth Public Library website. And that, my friends, wraps this episode of The Local Scene this week. Thank you for watching.
And if you live or work in Plymouth, Pembroke, Kingston, or Duxbury and would like to have your own show or podcast, you should. Email community@thelocalscene.media to find out about our free production services and training for community members.
And if you have a story or event you'd like people to know about, email us at story@thelocalscene.media.
And as always, we thank our patron Tiny & Sons for supporting our mission of community in action through media.
The Local Scene this week will be back next week with more of what's good and good to know in our area. Until then, we'll see you on The Local Scene. Hello, friend. If you enjoyed this video, please think about scanning the QR code and making a contribution to the local scene. Every dollar is appreciated, and your support helps keep community media alive and our resources free to the community. We'll see you on the local scene.